Welcome, Brave Masters, to another amazing episode of the Brave Entrepreneur Podcast. I am your host, Jena Rodriguez. I am your brand, business, and brave strategist, and you're probably thinking, what the heck is that? So what I do and help entrepreneurs with is catapult their brand clarity, their profit enhancement strategies, and get brave daily. And so that leads me to this show. I have an amazing special guest, Lisa Sasevich. How are you? Welcome.
I am awesome. I'm feeling more brave just being around you.
Oh, good.
It's true.
Yes, I do. I'm like, I give permission to everybody, right? Because I'm all about I'm not always brave, and I probably do it the most, I can possibly do it. And, and it happens every day. If I can have anything, to make my days brave and special, it gives other people permission to do the same. So yay, that's a great comment, actually. So I'm so glad you're here, and it took us a little bit to get connected, and it was like, it's always perfect. So I really appreciate it.
I agree. So, divine timing, right? It wouldn't have been for some reason, and we'll probably find out on this interview. So hopefully we can all take close attention. So we'll see what it is. But there's something that happened that we're going to talk about that had we met a week prior, would not have been able to come up. So divine timing.
It is. It's always divine timing. I love that. So for those of the watchers and listeners, please introduce yourself and let them know who you are and kind of what your story's all about.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Lisa Sasevich, and I'm known by many as the Queen of Sales Conversion. Yes. My jam is, I walk around life and I just see everywhere like thousands of dollars that people are stepping over because they're not ready with an offer that is truly irresistible. Yeah. And I'm kind of a child of personal development. My 50th birthday is coming. Actually, maybe by the time you see this, I'm already 50. We're speaking in my 20s, like early 20s. So almost 30 years ago, I discovered personal development. And I really have come to see, in the last 30 years that transformation, when we make a change in our life or our business or our family, whatever the area, our health, that all transformation, there's something that happens right before it. And that is a decision gets made. And, that decision gets made and then we transform. And, my work is really about how can you, as a coach, an entrepreneur, an expert, a business owner, a service professional, how can you be responsible for hitting the markers that bring people to a decision? And so, we focus on you having an irresistible offer and then all of the different structures that you would need to lead to that offer. So whether you're doing a webinar to lead to an offer, a stage talk to lead to an offer, an event, a one-on-one consult, there's only really about 4 ways that your clients discover you. And if you had a system to lead to your offer from each of those ways that felt authentic, wasn't pushy or salesy, it is game changing. And I say that from experience. We are an Inc. 500 company. We've been number 20 in women-owned businesses. We have 15,000 clients in 134 countries. So, in the 9 years I've had the privilege of doing this, I've gotten to work with a lot of businesses, and that's what we do.
Yeah, I love it. And I certainly have been a fan of yours for a long time, and just your spirit about things, right? I know you're very heart-centered about it, and yet you get business done, which I love that too. Like I'm right there with you. And it's interesting that you right. And it's interesting that you brought up decision, because one of the things that I say about Brave is it starts with decision, right? And then we commit to that decision and take the action that's necessary. So, it just really falls in line with what you just said. So I love that. And so, for the sake of this show, I would love to know, because number one, congratulations on your success. Like I said, I've watched you and followed, and you really are. You're making waves. You're game changing it, and it's something, of course, to aspire to and look up to, and yet I want people to really get that. Number one, you're just Lisa. And
I'm just Lisa from the block. Used to have a little, and now I have a lot.
That's right. It's just a different day. And
Right.
yeah, right. And I know you've gone through a lot. I mean, I knew you when you were married to someone else, right? I
Yeah.
knew your story with that. And I know that's changed in these years. And I don't know what your status is now, but the thing is I know that we all go through things to get to where we are. So I'd love if you'd be willing to just really transparently tell us, where did you have to start, and what did you have to really go through, and what brave moment you had to experience in order to get kind of where you are today.
Well, first off, I just really, it's just so great to be with another powerful, empowered woman, that is living in both her feminine and her masculine, like embracing it all. Can you just feel it, you guys, just the way, her and I, we just can run together. And I'm sure you're attracted here because, maybe you're the same, or, you appreciate the same. And so thanks for the conversation. And almost always when I'm speaking, I'm talking about sales conversion. So, this is a special interview to just kind of go off the track and really talk about some of the things underneath. In fact, I've had the privilege over the last 9 years, kind of whoever's the hot thing in the market, whatever the industry, they're a client. So, one of the folks that was recently here doing VIP work with me, Todd Herman, who is killing it with his 90-day year. He said something to me when he was here, really putting together his irresistible offers. That's what people come to me for. And I love what he said. And I want to acknowledge you for this. He said, we can all buy each other's programs and processes, branding. We're the brand holders of Speak to Sell. We're most known for the Speak to Sell boot camp.
Right.
And, put your talk together that leads to your offer. And you can buy my programs, your programs. We can teach you our step-by-step process. He called that the tiles. He said, but why I'm here, buying this very, very expensive investment day with you. I said, what had you come out here? You have access to everyone. He said, because I've got all your tiles. I've got your stuff. I want the grout.
Oh, that's good.
I have
I like that
so many times. And what I love about your show, and what I just love about everyone that's, really choosing to follow you here is, you guys you get it. You need to invest in the tiles. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. If someone's got the success you want, and I don't care if it's relationship, weight loss, business, just do the darn system. Right.
Right.
But then, why do you invest deeper? Why do you listen to the podcast? Why do you pay attention to that person's Facebook live feeds, catch them in the morning when their hair's undone? Is because you want the grout. Because that, it's the grout that makes all the tiles stick together, gives them strength. So yeah, let's go for the grout today.
That is good. I might, what is his name?
Herman, crediting him.
Yeah, what's his name?
Todd Herman.
Todd. Yeah. Oh, that's my brother's name. So Todd Herman.
Oh, well, there you have it.
He's not my brother.
No, but he's a brother from another mother.
He's a brother, yeah, for sure.
So what I'll share is, I spent a lot of years supporting other entrepreneurs, other businesses. I came into corporate and I sold millions of dollars for Pfizer and for Hewlett Packard, and then I got into personal development, and I would lead intro events and fill up workshops for different companies in the relationship space and the personal development space, and eventually I landed in a workshop where we were teaching women how to have great relationships with men. And I did that for 6 years. And I loved the mentor, the woman. She was like, my mom died when I was close to 20 years old. Oh, wow. And the woman who ran that company was like, just another mentor to me, a female, powerful mentor. And I really thought I would be there forever. Right. And to my surprise, just there were things about me that I wasn't seeing. And she changed direction on what she wanted to do. And I thought I was just in a safe place to be myself. And I got fired from my dream job the night before Christmas Eve.
Oh, no.
And and I had a newborn. Well, actually, no. Elijah was 3, pardon me.
Got it.
But I was pregnant. I got pregnant with Sierra shortly thereafter. So I was within months, I had a newborn and a 3-year-old, and I had been fired.
Wow.
And, I didn't plan to have to pick another job or do something else. I loved that company like it was my own. And my ego just thought, hey, I make all the sales. I mean, this company's gone from 300,000 to 1.3 million since I've been here. Like, I'm indispensable.
Took it for granted, right?
Who would let me go? I mean, we built $1 million up, and I've designed. It's really where my work that I teach now it was my lab, it's where I
Yeah, for
learned
sure.
how to make a presentation and have people say yes and do it in a non-salesy way, because I loved the work so much. Like all of you, I loved it so much that I just wanted to get it out there in a bigger way. And I know all of you feel that way about your own work.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that that would be the lab 6 years there. And that was so many of the systems that I teach now. Right.
Right.
But,
Absolutely.
but that was brutal. That was really brutal. And to kind of just to make it more exciting, my then husband that you mentioned, Michael, he was in fellowship to become a heart transplant surgeon.
Yeah.
So we were like in the middle of this, almost 15-year path to build a heart surgeon.
Wow.
So it wasn't like, so I think at some you're paying, and then you make 50,000 a year for like a lot of years.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like my
It's a
income was
long
just,
road.
you know.
Right. Right.
So I, that was a piece of my turning point, was like a dark night of the soul, really forced me to have to say, okay, what is the thing that I have brought to company after company, to
Yeah.
other people's mission over and over again, that maybe it's time to just kind of like get clarity on it and
Sure.
kind of find the words to say what I do, to talk about it, and learn how to package it and price it and offer it.
Yeah.
And that path that, I highly recommend, but man, it's not for everyone.
Yeah. It's the brave.
It's the brave path. Yeah. And it's not a straight line. I did different workshops and seminars and, went to things. And the thing that I'm proud of myself for is that when the teacher showed up, like the one that I knew had, when I saw someone that really had what I wanted in the specific area of business and living your gift,
Right.
I freaking tripped my own switch. All the things I usually do, which are like overthink it, ask other people who aren't in my situation what I should do,
Yeah.
just like I used to kill possibility all the time by when I actually was face to face with a female mentor almost 10 years ago, who was
Right.
on her own stage and rocking it out. And like, I could see a possibility that I wanted, right?
Yep.
I freaking went for it.
Got it.
Again, 3-year-old husband in fellowship, recently fired, knew I had a gift. It's like a feeling that won't go away. Probably a lot of you share it. I call it, you're meant for more.
Yeah.
It's like a
I have
feeling
that.
that you're meant for more. You can't deny it.
Yeah.
And when I went to a workshop, kind of like most people said, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm just going to implement.
Yep.
And she made an invitation to mentor with her. And I just, you could say I took a chance, but when I look back, I gave myself a chance.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, that's the difference. And this is going to sound crazy, but she had like a $20,000 package where you could mentor with her for a year in a group. And then she had a $100,000 package where you could mentor with her in the year in the group, but you also could get private coaching.
Right.
From her. And I don't know, I was like close to my 40th birthday. So it was almost 10 years ago.
Right.
I knew that, I thought, I should say, that Michael would be graduating soon, and that, I'd just be like eating bonbons and reading Spa magazine was what I thought once I was a surgeon's wife. And so
yep. The
so
vision that we always start with, right?
I'm not going to have this fire, it's like I have my 40th birthday milestone. Life's going to get cushy. If I don't do something really drastic, I'm not going to have a drastic result. Right.
Yeah, right.
And I prayed a lot. I have a spiritual bent. I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. And I remember turning the application over to work with her and doing this process I do called active imagination or automatic writing, where it's like a script. I write my name, Lisa ... And then I write, please God, why is this feeling coming up in me? And then I write, for me, it's God. Some people use their higher self, it works with whatever where you go for your inner wisdom.
Sure.
And I wrote God ... And then you just kind of let your pen do the writing. And you sort of have to get over that you're talking to yourself.
Right. Let it flow.
Yeah. But it's amazing. Like 80% of the people who try this, Tim Kelly was the mentor that I learned this from. He has a book called True Purpose, where he really talks about the process. he says 80% of people who try it like really do connect. And I did. And I just got this real clarity that it's my time. You know, there wasn't an accident that we're meeting. And for some of you, like right now, there's no accident that we're meeting.
Right.
This is how life works, divine appointment. And I heard it, I listened to it, and I leaned in. And I remember calling Michael to say, I know this sounds crazy. I mean, we were sharing a car. Do you know, I don't come from a rich family. But I really believe that I can, you know, follow her system and have her mentorship. And I can do it. I can do it. I see myself, and I know I've got something. I know I'm meant for more. And I just feel like if I don't do it now, it's just, I won't.
Got it.
I did. I applied, and you know, we found the money. I had a little bit of inheritance from when my mom died. We had some 401k. 10 years ago, if you said you were going to be a doctor, you could get a loan.
Interesting. I didn't know that one. Yeah. And, so which one did you choose?
I did the $100,000
wow.
level program. And here's what I want to say about going for it, stretching, is that honestly, like, she provided so much, you know, really. But before I even had like my first coaching session with her,
right,
because I took that bet on myself, something happened and my brain just started operating in a different way. I started looking for opportunities. I saw that, you know, she was selling VIP days, and I started selling some of those. And I had made $67,000 back before we met for our first weekend retreat.
Got it.
And you guys, I hadn't barely made that. I had only made just over that in a whole year. It wasn't like something I had done.
Yeah. You know, and I think that's so powerful, because it's about, what I'm hearing is necessity. You know, like I talk a lot about this, and it's coming up for me a lot, you know, around my clients and just kind of my conversations is finding your necessity to take the action, to be the brave, and, you know, for you to step into the call, right? Like you heard the sound, and even being I don't know, were you nervous to talk to your husband about this? Like I would be.
You know, what was amazing is that when I called, what he said to me, and this is probably still why we have a great relationship. You know, it's strained, of course, because there's kids going back and forth from here to Oklahoma and all that. But like, I think underneath it, there's a lot of love and appreciation for who we both became. It was like a purpose-driven marriage. You know, I became the Lisa Sasevich that is helping people all over the world, and he is a very successful heart transplant surgeon.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, we married to someone who loves that life. Like, she's thrilled to have that life and wake up and make breakfast and be in the community of other doctors, and you know, she really loves it. So I think it's great.
Is that what changed for you?
What's that?
Is that what changed for you?
When I called, just to answer your question, he said, I don't think they're charging enough for what you're going to do from that program. And sure enough, you know, 10 months later, I was doing I went from like $80,000 to $100,000 as, you know, one-on-one coach with no life to 2.2 million in sales. It was that's when we made the Inc. 500 for the first time, that leap. And I will say, there's something about when you be brave, you inspire others to be brave. And I'm sure you talk about this, because within 7 months of making that investment, I was actually taking on $100,000 clients. Yeah. And now, you know, all these years later, I've had, you know, so many clients at $100,000 level that we've been able to pop their businesses, their offers, you know, to the 6 and 7 figure marks, and they have those systems forever. But I didn't even have that possibility. You know, there's people out there trying to make these big offers, and you know, I love offers, so I kind of always come back to offers. But I see people out there trying to like make a $20,000 offer. They've never said yes to one. They never bought it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Totally. I was going to say that. I'm like, you won't, and that's me too. I won't ask people for something I'm not willing to buy, right? Or have.
That's it, sister. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
It's congruence, right? Like, I talk to my tribe a lot. You know, you talk about being brave, and, you know, I talk about living the stretch, right? Like always having yourself in a stretch. I think they're very tied together. And so I always make sure like I'm in a stretch before I step on my own stage and ask other people to stretch, that I'm in a stretch. I mean, I've sang, I'm not a singer. I've sang at my own events.
I've seen you.
Oh, well, it's like,
I did see you. Yes. And you said, you're like, I am not a singer, but I'm going to do this.
Brace yourself. But it's like, I was trying to think that event, what would a stretch be? I bought this gorgeous home in La Jolla just before I knew that I was going to be asking my tribe to make a big stretch.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I was a one-hit wonder, would I be able to keep affording it or not? You don't know when you're just starting out.
So good.
So I feel that like your topic is so important because, Price Pritchett said that thing I said earlier. I got it in his book, U Squared. I've never referenced so many books in one interview, but here we are.
I'm gonna have to make a list.
I actually think I'm a reader, which I'm not. But he says it's not about taking a chance. It's about giving yourself a chance. And
I love that.
So true for me every time that I've been willing to get uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what the brave is all about. I mean, it truly is being uncomfortable for the sake of something bigger. And you may not know how, and you may not know what it's going to look like. You clearly, your path and journey. I mean, like I said, I've met you years ago, and the path you've taken thus far is very different than it used to be. Right. And so, I just think the stretch conversation is huge, because I see people that are just so right there on the edge of the ledge, and whether it's to buy something or to invest in themselves or to start a business or whatever. And I see them pull back, and it breaks my heart. Right. It just like really breaks my heart. And that's what I'm hoping this show does, is inspire people to like jump off the ledge and know that the next step will arrive. Like, what is that? What's the movie? Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones or something, like years ago. Right. Yeah. Where he stepped forward and then the rock appeared. Yeah. Right. And I think that's been my life, is it's always a step forward and then the answer appears, or the support, or the right mentor, like such as yourself, or something like that. And I just really honor you for being the stretch and being the permission for other people to do it too. So huge.
Right now, just to speak to people that are at milestones, like your 40th, your 50th, maybe you've passed in your 60th, or you're in the middle, but you didn't really honor the milestone. I'm in a moment of honoring the milestone of my 50th birthday. And, first off, there was a decision. I said, I want to go into it feeling like more vibrant and healthy than ever. So, I made a decision. I joined a fitness challenge up the street, and like 8 weeks later, I'm like feeling fabulous. And I've decided, I'm not visiting here. This is my new set point. Like, this is the 50 plus Lisa. And so it feels great. Yeah. At the end of last year, my fiance, my now ex-fiance, and I decided to step out of our 7-year relationship.
Wow.
So that was a really big deal. And honestly, so brave on his part. I probably would have just held on. And now that we've done it, I see the gift, and we've stayed close. We love each other so much, but just didn't have the same vision and values, and the stuff that really goes the distance.
Yes, for sure.
A lot of attraction, but
that doesn't always keep the graft in place, right?
And so, for the first time in 22 years, you take the 15-year marriage, and then that really, I'm kind of like single and ready to mingle.
Nice. And, anyone listening?
Yeah, really, my promo. I mean, I'm actually taking time to just like marry myself right now. There's just, I'm pouring into my kids. I feel like kind of back in the world in a brave new way. Like my North Star right now, and really what I see for the next 50 years, like who I am as this 50 plus woman is, I see that it's really like God's taken great care of me, and I've been so blessed to step into my gift. And I feel like really what I'm about now is empowering leaders, for the people that are in my life personally, or they come onto my campus, like all the fear that I had earlier, that if someone gets too big, they'll leave me or they'll outshine me. It feels like stripped away at this point in my life. And I didn't even know it was there until I put it on the table, did some good personal development work, and like tore it up. Right. And I just feel like, it's about empowering leaders. It's about generosity and courage. So I love that we're here. And compassion, for myself and for the path that we're each taking. And if I can just, keep that as my North Star, is really what I'm up to.
That's awesome.
and then I'm just letting the design of life kind of unfold in that context.
Yeah. And I think that's beautiful, because I do believe that we learn from every chapter, right? You've been through many chapters of your life and experiences, and each one has led to the next, and whether it's relationship or work or business or what have you. But I think you've defined your chapters in a way that's really eloquent, and being able to showcase what's possible, and just despite the circumstances and despite the doubts and all of that. And I think that's what I think people need to hear from you, especially, is this is another chapter, and I'm excited to be at the beginning of it with you. This
right?
is
Totally. I really feel like I wouldn't
awesome.
take back a minute of my last 7 years, but there's an element of like, whoo, I feel like I'm just waking up.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, wow, if we've been able to accomplish all this and do the work we've done in that level, like there's a piece that actually feels like I'm just getting started, which is like,
yeah.
Wow. So, if it's okay with you, before we wrap,
Absolutely.
I have a brave gift for some of the folks that resonate with my vibe and, want
Yes.
to, really look at your own offer. It is a brave thing. Let me just say that, to be out in your own work. It is a brave thing to say to another human being, I can help you in this area. This is a transformation that I can provide. And a lot of us chicken out when it comes to making our invitation, making our offer, whether it is directly for someone to purchase from you or just to come on in for a consult. And so, whatever your business model is, I'd love to give you as a gift today, just for kind of engaging in this conversation, what I call my irresistible offer blueprint. It's really the key to being able to sell without feeling pushy or salesy, because when you have an offer that's irresistible, you invite pursuit. You don't need to do. You don't need to sell. You just, the right people are like, wow, thank you. I needed that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it'll just walk you through. It's like a mini course. It'll walk you through how to look at your offer, the elements to the offer, bonuses, limiters, like how do you think about it? And a lot of people have huge breakthroughs just from this like first piece of work with us. So you can just go to basically my name, lisasasevich.com/brave.
Perfect.
You use the /brave. I think that you can actually choose to have a masterclass to go with the blueprint that you can watch and kind of go together. And my name, that last name's a little interesting. So it's Lisa, Lisa, and Sasevich is SASEVICH.com/brave. And since you guys are clearly podcast listeners, also find us on iTunes, boost your sales and lifestyle. We're always having special episodes, great guests, and, there's a lot more. It's all about the offer. And the thing I'll close with is that, it's so brave to make your offer, because a lot of people don't make this connection, but your offer is your life.
Yeah.
That's why we call it boost your sales and lifestyle, because you better love what you're offering, because, it's really fun to make the offer and make the sales, right?
Yes.
But you're going to deliver it. And those are your people. I hope you love your ideal client like I do and like you do. I hope that, you love your offer, and that when anyone ever says yes, you're like, oh, I can't wait to serve them.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you can use the irresistible offer blueprint to transform it. You're not stuck with it. That's the good news.
I love that. And yeah, we'll make sure they have that in the show notes and have availability to the link. And I know I'm with you on that, because I think people do hesitate on making the ask. And I just say that, number one, if you don't ask, it's always no. And if you do ask, it's a service. You're giving people the freedom of choice. And when you don't, you take away their choice. You take away their right to have the next thing that might be the $100,000 mentor that you had that changed your life and brought you to this place, right? So thank you for making that gift available. I really do appreciate it. And adding brave to the end, that was awesome.
Well, that we've got some, if you're brave and you're here, then we want to make sure, that you've got access to the masterclass, the blueprint, the whole thing. So
that's so cool.
Yeah. And really, I love what you're saying. We're so congruent. So I hope to do a lot, see you more and do more with you. And, this is the kind of amazing woman that shows up at our live events. So if you ever get a chance to come out and learn from us live, amazing entrepreneurs like us, And if you're supposed to be there, I'll keep my eyes out for you.
Yes, absolutely. I know I love live events. I've built my business that way too. So I have one final question, and just to kind of close this beautiful conversation out is I like to ask my guests, if this was the last interview, if this was the last conversation to the world at large, what is that message that you want to leave them with? Received.
Always add.
Got it.
Yeah. In fact, I have it over here on my desk somewhere, but just know that you are always leading. You could be sitting in the audience of one of our events, and what you say to the person next to you, your vibe, the way that, you are, the way you are with our teams, you don't have to be standing on a stage to be the leader. You are leading.
Yes.
You can lead from any position, and people who are unconscious of that, it's a dangerous thing, for you to know that you are a leader, regardless of what role you're playing, and then to take on that you always add, would change the world.
Yeah, one person at a time. Thank you for that. I love that. And it really speaks to the brave ripple effect that I talk about so much, is that just one person next to you could be the thing that you make the most difference to. So I love that. To always add. Thank you, Lisa. Happy birthday. Celebrate all year.
I'm celebrating for sure all month and probably all year. And just the learnings that I'm having, I'm taking y'all with me. So stay close.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me today. I love you. Love your brand and the work that you're doing. So it's really an honor. And
thank you. You too. Yes, you too. I love you. I appreciate you. And this has been such an amazing gift. And so anyone listening, please give us feedback, give us comments. If you're watching and listening and this made an impact in you, please let us know. We see the downloads, but we don't know what you're thinking. And we would love to know that this mattered to you.
Biggest takeaway. That's what, that's how you feed me. If you got value today, share with us in the chat, in the comments, what was your biggest aha, your biggest takeaway? And, knowing that we added, we felt the difference. All right,
it's why I do it.
San Diego.
This is so good. Bye, everyone. Let's go get our brave on. See you on the next episode.